Our community in that regard is very nice because I haven't had to ban anyone yet. No one, to my great disappointment. Do you have anything interesting to add?
Because I'm like, the annoying player that always asks me. Like, how does
Charming.
Witajcie, ja jestem Natasza, a to kanał Gram Przygody. Dziś z Antwerpii. Antwerpia, miasto diamentów, Rubensa i jeden z największych portów w Europie. To tu narodziła się giełda, dając początek rozwojowi bogactwa miasta. Dziś zobaczymy bogactwo i różnorodność środowiska graczy skupionego wokół discordowego Game Master Worlds, którego twórców odwiedziliśmy właśnie w Antwerpii. Ja jestem Natasza, a to kanał Gram Przygody.
I'm Nathan from Game Master Worlds.
Hi everyone, my name is Shu. On Discord, everyone knows me as Pikachu.
My name is Tim. On the Discord, I'm known as Brother Timothy. The main goal of the Discord, because there are a few communities in Belgium that are about Dungeons and Dragons and playing games together, but we really wanted to make a central hub where people can get together from all the different cities and towns in Belgium and just find people to play with. We have a specific part for DMs who are looking for players who are looking for DMs. We offer our own rooms for people who want to do their campaigns online, so they can just do it in the Discord. On the Discord, I am the moderator. I make sure everything goes well, and I run the Choose Your Own Adventure. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons now and other TTRPGs for, it's about 20 years now, I think.
We have already, we checked today, 415 members on our Discord. We started because it was for us the most logical way to bring people together. So we also have our socials like Instagram, Facebook, Twitch channel, YouTube channel, and so on. But I think that Discord is the most logical platform to bring players and DMs together. In my personal life, I'm a recruiter. A lot of people know that. So I love bringing people together, connecting people, dungeon masters with players. So that's basically what I do as well in Game Master Worlds on Discord, organizing a lot of events, activities.
That's one part that I really love about the Discord is if people from our community have fun ideas, we have a platform for them to experiment or try those out, and we want to help them because it's not always easy to start doing things on your own. But since we have a community that's growing, it's very nice that we have that platform to allow others to try out their own ideas and see if it works or not. I myself, I've been a dungeon master since I think 2022.
Well, like Nathan said before, there is a language barrier between the two parts of Belgium. So with Flanders we speak Dutch, and in Walloon is mostly French. So there is a language barrier there to really get those two sides of the country playing together around the same table. As for us, we tend to switch between Dutch and English, depending on who's at the table, what language is preferred, what we feel most comfortable in.
It also really depends on who's at the table, because if you have one person who doesn't speak Dutch, everyone automatically switches to English. What I've noticed is that oftentimes we would make agreements like out of character we speak in Dutch, in character we speak in English.
There was this one time that the DM was so tired and he just like, I'm just gonna mix Dutch and English, whatever. I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna mix them up. Also, I'm very intrigued about the level of English in these times. I remember this one time that we were in Heroes Dutch Comic Con, that was last year. We were on stage, we were talking about world building, and we invited some children who also play D&D as well on stage to talk with us, and their English was really, really good. I mean, so I think English is really the way to go.
As for specifically Belgian tabletop role-playing games, there really aren't any. At least none that are very mainstream. There might be some that people have homebrewed around their kitchen table that aren't online, that aren't really known. So we do have a very interesting and rich history, especially with if you go back to the days of the Gauls and things like this. So perhaps one day there will be a Belgian tabletop role-playing game. You know, you never know.
Are there any like Belgian-made TTRPG system? Well, we don't have it officially, but we do have Monday Madness Mania at this moment. It's not really, it exists already, so it's not something like we created. But we also try to find other formats, so just not the classical D&D. We also try to try other formats to see which works. For instance, Monday Madness Mania is more like a PvP version of it, more competitive, that you choose a character, or maybe the DM choose a character for you, and then you battle each other like a battle royale till one man standing. So that's okay. It's not really something we created, but we tried different formats as well to see what will be popular. And from what I've heard, it's really popular right now.
Important to mention is that this was a community-based activity. So that's also one of the things that I love about the Discord. Robin Cobain, he had this idea for the Monday Madness Mania. He pitched it to us, and we helped him set everything up so that he could organize that with our community. We started Game Master Worlds in November, I think, and it's based on a project, Worlds at a Glance, Towns and Villages, a book that I'm writing that helps game masters improve their world building, especially when it comes to towns and villages, to make it easier, faster, and more efficient, especially with the shops and the NPCs that you can encounter there.
One thing that's very common in Dungeons and Dragons is no matter how much you prepare, your players are always going to want to do something that you haven't prepared for. And having a book like this, like Towns and Villages, like Worlds at a Glance, it's in the title. It's at a glance. You can open it, and wherever your players want to go in a town or village, you have everything ready.
Of course, for beginner DMs, this is a very useful tool to kind of take the load off of creating your world and making it accessible and enjoyable for your players. But also for more experienced DMs, it can be a very useful tool to take a little bit of the weight off of your shoulders and just make it simpler, give you less preparation. And also, not everyone is very good at improvising. Mm-hmm. Some people can just create cities out of the top of their head, no problem, but not everyone is equally good at that. So it's just something to really help people get into the game, and so you can really focus on the story, on your players, and on what you're trying to accomplish. It's just have a good time together without endless amounts of paperwork and hours of preparation.
How I came to the idea of Worlds at a Glance, Towns and Villages was mainly because when I was creating my own campaign as a first-time DM, I noticed that while I'm trying to create a story that spans across an entire world, some of the most difficult parts were not spending too much time on details, but having enough that when my players wanted to, they were able to visit places and make towns and villages feel alive. While they're not always the main focus, you do want to provide something that's fun to discover. And I think a lot of that stems down to how much time do you want to put in the preparation of your campaign. And for me, it was very hard to do that properly with all the work that I had from my day job, and then also trying to make sure that I have a weekly campaign that's full of content. I wanted to find it or create a tool, at least because I couldn't find one, that would allow me to help me build those towns and villages much faster and much easier. There will be over 30 different places your players can visit. So you'll have the typical blacksmith to get your weapons, you'll have the tavern where your quests can start, you'll have the market where you can find some exotic foods. You've got so many things that you can go and discover. Even as a DM, when you're going through the book, you don't need to read it before you use it. You can just discover it alongside your players because it's made in such a way that you can start reading instantly. You don't need to first prepare yourself on what's available in the book. You can just open the chapter you need. So say you want to go to the blacksmith. The blacksmith, there you go. You've got the 3 ways to describe it. So if you've already decided that this is going to be a creepy town, you just start reading in the red part. We try to put as many themes in there for green, yellow, and red. Green being cozy and red being creepy. So I can start reading even if you've never seen the book, and we've even asked the dungeon masters, like, hey, we've got a tavern and we want you to describe it. Can you read a part from the book? And instantly everyone started making different taverns based on the descriptions, which is like a mix and match setting.
But what we also always add at the bottom, for example, is ideas for names for shops. On the page afterwards, we have price lists, everything you can buy there, ideas for names of the owner, ideas for how they look, what kind of voice they use. So really everything you would need to, at a glance, just create this place, create these NPCs, and just get right into it.
Every place is also different, because now this is like the standard, what you can expect in a chapter, but depending on where you go, no one place is the same. Like a tavern will have tavern games, or will have side quests that your players can discover. A potion shop will have different information. A market will have special goods that you can find there. Like a night market will have exotic foods. A black market might have cursed items that you can buy. So as a DM, when you go through the book, you can discover so many things yourself that you can throw at your players to make it more fun to discover those places. So it's really like the point of the book is to make everything super fast and efficient and easy, but also a tool that helps you rediscover your own towns and villages once you implement this in a new or an existing campaign.
For me, I have never DM'd before. I have been only playing for like 2 years, thanks to Nathan. But if I look at the book, I think it would really encourage me to try, because one of the biggest hassle for starting DM is that. And on the other side is I do feel like that this book would help me as a player to immerse myself more into the story, because if I may, in the book, like Tim just described, my favorite part is really the NPC. Because I'm like, you know that, the annoying player that always asks me like, how does
Charming.
Charming, annoying, whatever you want to call it. But I'm like, and how does he look like? And how does he sound? What does he want? How tall is he? And then what color of hair? And what can I buy here? Like I'm the kind of player that really wants the slightest detail that you will never imagine as a DM. And that's why I also think from a player perspective that it could really immerse yourself into the game as well.
So right now we are warming up for the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter will be the 30th of April, and currently we do have some a cool thing going on our website, which is gm-worlds.com. And there you can already sign up if you're interested in the book. And signing up will put you on a list, so you get a reminder from us. But we also have this extra perk for people who want to support us or show their support in advance already. And that's the Legendary Looter, where for €1, you can already show that you're really interested. And in exchange, when you back us on Kickstarter, you get a free deck of cards, which we haven't mentioned yet. But again, it's all about efficiency, right? So when your players go into a store or a shop or wherever they can buy something, oftentimes what slows the session down is that every player one by one has to ask the DM, what can I buy here? Or can I buy this? Or I want to buy this. Instead of doing it that way, we came up with an idea that we have a deck of cards that you can hand out to your players with all the items you can buy in the shop. So depending on where they go, you give them a small set of cards that they can browse through, buy their items, and hand it back to the DM.
From what we know, I think Day of Dungeons is really D&D oriented. Elftopia, Elfia, those two are also more medieval oriented. And if you really like cosplay, yeah, Fax is in Belgium is one of the biggest one. And also, like he said, it's not only Belgium, but it's really a lot of people from all around the world.
International.
Yeah, it's maybe also interesting for.
But again, if any of your Polish viewers have any ideas for conventions, a little more international maybe, because right now, of course, we're starting in Belgium and the Netherlands, but if there are any interesting tabletop RPG or just fantasy conventions that are a little bit further away, feel free to join our Discord and let us know, and maybe one day we can also go there.
We will visit you.
Maybe, exactly.
So for all the Polish viewers, all the conventions we go to, we make sure that are English focused because the book is in English. So if you're from Poland and you're looking for a convention in Belgium, well, just follow us and you'll probably come at a convention that's mostly in English.
The first question, no, because Nathan created a very beautiful channel where actually you can create your own room or own channel on our Discord server, and you can even rename it if you want. Temporary channel where you can host your D&D session. So the DM actually can change some settings, just like allowing people to talk or not, allowing people to send messages or not. So they have like a certain things that they could change, so they can personalize their own room. So no, I don't think so. If you're like a DM and you don't want anyone to interrupt, then you just simply put the settings on. We also, in those rooms, you can also invite the bot that Nathan created. And then you can invite it, and you can put some background music so to make the experience more immersive. And then to your second question, I don't specifically interview them, but I do ask for feedback a lot of times. Sometimes I join the group as well just to see how it went. Did they make it? Did they not make it? The one shot, and maybe talk a little about how they experienced. Are there anything that we could help and improve? Or so I think that would be added value.
It also comes around with the entire concept of why we're doing Game Master Worlds, and it's to make everything more accessible. So instead of you having to figure out everything yourself, we want to be able to provide you with the tools you need and have everything set up for you.
And that really is the mission statement in general of Game Master Worlds, is just make it more accessible, make it more enjoyable. And it doesn't matter if you've never played the game or if you've been playing for 20 or 30 years. Just bring people together, make it easier to play, make it more enjoyable to play. That for everything from this book, next books, our Discord, that's really the core mission statement of the whole thing.
I think from a tip that I can give is a personal connection with people. People don't like to be part of like something big where they don't have a say in it. That's also a reason we are building a community. So I think personal contact with people, that's also how we have the connection with Robin Copain. Those personal connection make people feel like they are heard, that the feedback matters, because that's also what we stand for. And everyone has a say in it. We encourage also, because there are some people who are a bit shy, some people are a bit more loud or has more way with people. And we try to encourage everyone and to create a safe space or safe zone for everyone to be able to enjoy, because that's at the end of the day, we just want people to enjoy.
One of the very important things into running a Discord channel like this is also to be active yourself. Whenever you're awake, you want to be looking at the Discord, seeing are people talking, what are they talking about, join in the conversation, get the conversation going. Because the quickest way to make sure that your Discord channel just goes away completely is to say, oh, well, we have a community now, people are talking, we can just leave and we're just done, we don't have to look at it anymore. As a moderator or an admin, you really have to be in there, talking to people, joining in on conversations, getting conversations going as well. Are you new here? Great. Come learn with us. Come find a group. Are you experienced? Great. Come share your wisdom. Come share what you know.
One of my favorite channels also on the community is the Meet the Locals. It's like a really fun channel where people who feel like it can introduce themselves. And it's really nice to go through that and see who joined the channel, what they like, what they dislike, what passion project they're working on, because we do want to like see what our community is also working on. And so we want to provide them a platform to share. And I really like that part, because you get to know the people better, and then you can talk to them about, you know, something that they mentioned in their introduction. And I think that's a really cool way also to get to know the people who join your community a bit better.
Our community in that regard is very nice, because I haven't had to ban anyone yet. No one,
To your disappointment.
to my great disappointment. So, you know, the first one's going to be very special. But that's something that's actually quite spectacular because I've adminned different communities before on Facebook and other platforms. And there's always troublemakers. There's always people who want to push the limits and really find. And we really haven't had much of that. Mostly people are very respectful. They're just keeping it fun and light. And it's a very nice change of pace from the usual way the internet works. So the Choose Your Own Adventure is, it's a format that has existed for a very long time. There used to be little paper books, if you'll remember those, where it's you get a bit of a story described to you, and then there's a few choices you can make, and you make one of those choices, and then the story continues with that choice. So again, it's very much community-driven, where I will write a part of a story and give a few options for voting, and then the community can vote on that. And then whichever vote gets the most traction, the most people vote for, then I continue the story with that. And that way we kind of write a short story together, me and the community.
Fragment przygody, którą codziennie pisze Tim, czyta dla nas Monika.
The crate you're in starts feeling smaller and smaller with every passing second. The footsteps slowly keep circulating the room. You can hear them going further away from where you heard the door before. Not coming your way just yet. Slowly, softly, as silently as you can, you exhale and then breathe in again, using every ounce of your willpower not to break out into a full-on panic attack.
There's always 3 or 4 small stories that I'm writing at the same time, basically, because I have to think, okay, they picked the basement to go first, so then this would be happening in the attic if they had picked that, so that affects what's going on there. And so there's always a few different stories that are going on at the same time.
As you breathe, the footsteps suddenly come to a stop. I heard that, it says. Even in the pitch blackness, you can hear the smile that's undoubtedly on its face right now. Do that again. Slowly, the footsteps start again, still moving across the room. Even if it had heard you, it still obviously didn't know exactly where you are, yet.
We also have people from the community who want to run these, and there has been one so far from someone else who has created this, and then I got to vote, which was also a nice change of pace. But usually I'm the one that does it, but we're definitely open to people from the community who also want to give this a try. And then find out that it's maybe not as easy as it looks. Yeah. Well, for example, currently the story that's currently going as of the time of filming is a little horror story where someone's exploring a possibly haunted old house. And so, for example, possibly, we don't know. I'm not spoiling anything. And so some of the choices could be, for example, would you like to go check the attic first? Would you like to go check the basement first? Would you like to walk around the house? Or maybe one of the options would just be, would you like to get out before it's too late?
Don't be afraid, come on. Just come out, it's me, your friend. Whatever facade the voice in the dark was keeping up earlier was dropping now, its voice sounding less like Thelma now. The footsteps had made it to the other side of the room now. It's getting harder and harder to hold your breath now. What will you do? Focus your mind and try to breathe without making a sound. Maybe if you stay hidden, it will give up and leave. Try to sneak away slowly. Try to find something else to hide behind. Get up and run. You just have to get through that door and close it. Feel around for something to throw. Try to distract the creature.
At the beginning, usually the way I do it is the first choice I give everyone is what genre would we like to do today. For example, one of the previous Choose Your Own Adventures I ran was about a detective. And then the first choice that I gave people was which case do you want to accept? And then that kind of decides what the general vibe of it is going to be. And then once that is decided, what's going to be the story, what's going to be the setting, then I do think of a general, let's say, best case scenario, where if people survive until the very end, this is generally how it would go. But you can never really put it in stone because people might vote for things that I wouldn't expect them to vote for. So every choice I give, I have to kind of already think, okay, so if they choose this, what's going to be different from the other choices? Where might this lead that other choices don't lead? So like I said, it's really like writing 3 or 4 short stories at the same time, and you don't really know where it's going to go. So it is a challenge, it is challenging, because you also want people to feel like they have a say in where the story goes. You don't just want it to be, no, I've already written it, it's decided, and all the choices are going to go to the same point, because then it wouldn't be a choose your own adventure. Then it would just be a D&D session. And there's still a very big distinction between those two, I think. Do you have anything interesting to add?
Na dziś to już koniec naszej przygody w deszczowe antwerpskie popołudnie. Dziękuję, że byliście ze mną do końca. Mam nadzieję, że bawiliście się równie dobrze jak my. Jeśli macie pytania lub uwagi, zapraszam na Discord Gram Przygody i Game Master Words, gdzie możecie być częścią wspaniałej, RPGowej społeczności.